So last week, I managed to find somebody else in Australia, more specifically in my state, willing to sell their copy of J-Star's Victory Versus, because that game did so poorly that PlayStation doesn't sell it digitally. And after picking up and playing the game for around 10 hours, I would say, I've come to the conclusion that I don't think anyone else has managed to come to. Jump Force is just better than J-Stars. There, I said it, J-Stars is trash, and Jump Force is awesome. Just in case anyone isn't aware, this is not a unique opinion, this is a very popular opinion, but it's true. There is 1,000 reasons that Jump Force is just a superior game to J-Stars, but none of those reasons are character designs, because after playing the game, I can confirm that the characters for the most part were handled pretty well. It's just the universal mechanics of the game aren't very good. So I thought I would dedicate a video going over Naruto in both J-Stars and Jump Force and comparing what's changed about the two character designs. I wanted to do this because Naruto is currently my favorite character to play in J-Stars, but he didn't manage to make it anywhere near my main team in Jump Force. And hopefully in this video we can find out why that is. First of all, J-Stars is a drastically different game than Jump Force. J-Stars is designed as a 2 versus 2 game, as in all 4 players are on screen simultaneously, and the way that that has to play out with larger stages, different types of movements, locking onto different enemies, it's just an entirely different game. This is one of the reasons I don't think we're going to get a 2 versus 2 mode in Jump Force, because you would have to design the game so differently. So yeah, you've got J-Stars over in one corner, which is very much a 2 versus 2 game, does not feel like a fighting game, at least in my opinion, and then Jump Force is a drastically different game. It's a traditional arena fighter, with a touch more depth than we're normally used to in arena fighters. So you would expect characters coming from J-Stars into Jump Force to be drastically different than their counterparts, and that's mostly true, but they obviously share some similarities as well. In this case, like I said, we're going to be talking about Naruto, but if you want me to do these types of videos for other characters, let me know by the end of the video. So first of all, let's go over his abilities. In Jump Force, his special 1 is Rasengan. His special 2 is Rasengan Shuriken. His special 3 is 6-Path Spar. In J-Stars, his special 1 is a Rasengan. His special 2 is Sage Mode, and his special 3 is Shadow Clone Jutsu. I won't be talking about normal attacks or auto combos in this video because, in all honesty, it will take me a long time to find the gameplay of me using their auto combos and heavy attacks and all that stuff and all the different tilt variations in the beta. I did it with every single character, but for me to actually go through the hours upon hours of gameplay I have and find me using each of those moves is going to be really difficult. So let's just go over the special moves and really focus on that. First of all, let's go over the special 1 in each game. This is the Rasengan. The Rasengan in J-Stars can be held down to create a Rasen Shuriken, which on face value comes off as pretty awesome. But when you think about it, this design philosophy is honestly what led to J-Stars being a much slower game. Jump Force's version is just much better. It's just a simple Rasengan, which Naruto's been using since part 1. It's invincible, and I think it has armor, so the opponent has no choice but to either block it or sidestep it. I don't know if you can multi-hit your way through it. I've never seen anyone do it though. Also, it's not like we don't get Rasen Shuriken, which we'll be talking about right now as we move into Special 2. In Jump Force, Naruto's Special 2 is Rasen Shuriken. It looks fantastic. It does big damage, it's easy to combo into, and it has amazing tracking, meaning it tracks the enemy. It's also obviously a projectile, which is very nice. In J-Stars, Naruto's special ability 2 is Sage Mode, which is basically trash. It's not good. This transformation basically allows him to continue his heavy and normal combos longer than he normally can, and it also allows him to throw his Rasen Shuriken, which he cannot do by default, which is cool, but significantly worse than it is in Jump Force, because it doesn't track at all. It goes to a fixed location, it doesn't reset itself, it doesn't autocorrect, it doesn't do anything like that. You almost definitely cannot combo into it because you have to sit there and charge it up. Overall, I don't know about the metagame of Jump Force, but to me, Sage Mode feels very weak unless it has crazy optimal damage that I don't see, and if it does, I still think that's fairly lazy design. I just don't think it's an interesting ability at all. It just feels useless and not fun to use. Compare this ability to the special 2 we have in Jump Force, which is straight up the ranged projectile Rasen Shuriken, which is 1,000 times better to look at and way more intuitive to use. Alright, now we can jump into Special 3. In Jump Force, we get 6-Paths Spar, which is basically just a big running punch. Honestly, this is the worst designed move that Naruto has in Jump Force. And the issue isn't that it's just a punch. The issue is that it has the exact same function as Rasengan. There is some reasons to use one over the other in different situations, but it's just not good design to have these two moves that are so eerily similar to each other. Which is a shame, because so far as we've gone through each of these specials, I think that Naruto's design in Jump Force is so much better than it is in J-Stars until we get to his special 3 slot, where I think it's really bad in Jump Force and amazing in J-Stars. His special 3 in J-Stars is awesome. It is just Shadow Clone Jutsu. You send out a clone towards your enemy. While you're doing this, you can freely move move around and do whatever you want. If your clone runs into contact with your enemy though, he starts doing a combo for you. You can then lead into your own combo off of that. Shadow Clone Jutsu is such a fun move to use because you can use it to apply block pressure, you can use it to start your combos, you can use it as a setup tool, you can use it as a mix-up tool. It's a really cool ability. It is significantly more fun to use than 6th Path Spar. One negative thing I will say about the ability though is that for some reason the Shadow Clone just disappears if you try to use another ability. I don't like that at all. I understand why Jump Force went with the 6th Path Spar move instead of the Shadow Clone Jutsu move. You really want your main characters like Luffy, Naruto, and Goku to be easier to play. You want them to be more accessible because they are the main characters. And if you have an ability like Shadow Clone Jutsu from J-Stars, it doesn't help with that design philosophy at all. But I can't help but feel some level of sadness to know that I'm not going to be able to use this really cool move that I've been enjoying so much in J-Stars. Finally, let's talk about the ultimates and awakenings of these two characters. The ultimate and awakening system in J-Stars I think is really strange. Basically, there's a momentum bar at the top, and whoever has the most momentum is more likely to land a super. Once they gain up that meter, they're allowed to go into kind of an awakening state, at which point they get to use their super, and for some characters that super is their awakening, and then they have to press another super button, so you have to go into 3 different animations to actually land your super. In Naruto's case, his super is actually, I think, a little bit better than it is in Jump Force. You get pretty decent damage off of it at the very least, although I don't think you can combo into it in any way. Also, the ultimate form he takes is, I think, a little bit cooler as well. He actually uses the reach that you would expect him to be able to use as he uses Kurama. I'm honestly okay with both designs. I don't have an issue with either of these. I will say it's a little bit disappointing to me that in Jump Force, Naruto's moves don't change at all whether he's in QB Sage Beast mode or not. Some of his normals do, but none of his specials do. Where J-Stars did the opposite of that design philosophy. It changed all of his moves into one move, which is just a simple Rasengan. I think that was an awful way of doing it. I think the best way is to have slightly modified versions of each ability. So for example, if we did our super in Jump Force, one thing we might do is we might do a physical version, like a non-projectile version of the Rasengan Shuriken. The regular special too could be like a much larger Rasengan Shuriken, and the 6th Path Spar ability could be something entirely different. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching this video. What do you think about the design of Naruto in both J-Stars and Jump Force? I have to give the edge to Jump Force here as far as design is concerned, although I really do wish he had that Shadow Clone move because it would be really fun to use. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, let me know. I can do this for other characters that were in the beta, and maybe even some characters who weren't in the beta. It just depends how much gameplay we've seen of them. Remember to leave a like on the video to help other people find it, subscribe to keep up to date with future content. My name's Bilbzy, and I'll see you in the next video.